Welcome to this 8th edition battle report. We're doing a special mission today. This is a modified previous ARC 40k mission from the 2017 ARC tournament. So we're using the same, so this is a preparation battle report for ARC 2018. So we're using the same points limit and everything that we used for ARC 2017. So that's 1350 points, and there's a special, because of 8th edition, there's a special detachment that you can choose for ARC. Now that has a maximum 1 HQ, 3 to 4 troop, or 2 to 4 troop, maximum 2 heavy support,
one flyer, no Lords of War.
Yeah, no Lords of War, up to 1 flyer, then 2 elites and 2 fast attack. And it gains you only 1 command point. So the reason that we're choosing these formations is that it actually gives you 15 extra points in the tournament by choosing an Arc Forged list, as it's called, which is this special detachment. And 15 points, that's pretty massive. So in the tournament, a win is 15, a loss is 5. So 15 extra points is like turning a loss and a draw into 2 wins. It's pretty massive. So that's why we're choosing to do Arc Forged lists. It's a deal too good to pass up. So the mission that we're choosing is called Scorched Earth, and basically what that is, that there's 6 objectives that will be placed on the battlefield, and you and your opponent can place up to 2 markers on each objective. Now, here's the twist. If the higher the points on the marker at the end of the game, the more points they're worth. Now, if a marker reaches 6 points, it blows up. And then what it'll do in this situation is if any units are within D6, they take D3 mortal wounds unless they have 10 or more models in the unit, in which case they take D6 mortal wounds. So a lot of strategy in picking whether you'll put the points on your own objectives, but then your opponent might put a couple of points on that one and then eventually try and blow it up. Or do you not put any points on your own home objective?
The bit you're missing as well is that each turn, each player gets to place 2 markers.
Yes.
All right. So you could, and when an objective blows up, is destroyed, so it's no longer an objective. Okay. So if your opponent has one in their deployment zone and they want to sit on that for the game, over 3 turns you can literally blow it up and it no longer counts. It becomes very tactical because you've also got to put counters on it on your own objectives so they count for something to win.
Yes. And
you've got to be careful the opponent doesn't destroy it. It becomes very tactical.
Very, very tactical. So it adds an extra element to the game. So to talk about the battlefield, what we have here is we've got basically a lot of ruins, and then we've got the river of blood in this chaos-infested planet that we're fighting over, the Admech and the Tyranids are fighting over. So what we're saying is that a lot of these are ruins. Now, this ruin here, only infantry can fit in. It's too small for anything larger than a warrior. So a hive tyrant, hive crone, those things can't go in. Walkers can't fit in the gaps. It's just too small to fit them in, as per the ruin rules. So it's infantry or large infantry. So pretty much Terminator, Tyranid warrior size are the maximum size units that can actually fit in this building. Other than that, it's ruins. We've included some large line of sight blocking terrain here to try and give 8th Ed what it desperately needs, is to stop a lot of alpha striking. And the rivers of blood are effectively follow the same rules as craters. So what that means is that infantry units only get +1 cover save while in them, and -2 to charge through it. So that's a large bit of cover that runs through the whole battlefield. So that'll be interesting. We have lots of blind corners around, and
it's more like congealed blood.
Yeah, it's a thick, oozy stream of blood, and some limbs and body parts float up on occasion. So,
yeah, it could be the Tyranids have already started digesting.
Could be that, and then it's definitely not AdMech machine oil, that's for sure.
Well, that's digestible as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still organic. Okay, here we go. We got John's army. John, do you want to talk through what you've got?
All right. Playing Kraken.
Yep.
Last time I played Behemoth for the reroll charge. This time I'm playing Kraken, which lets me roll 3 dice for run moves. Advance moves.
Yep.
And also lets me leave combat and charge.
Very good.
So we've got an arc list. So which is the special formation. I've got my Hive Tyrant again, heavy venom cannon, and monstrous rending claws, adrenals toxin, as you do. It's got the chameleon to give it -1 to be hit to shooting.
Yeah, very tough.
And it's got adaptive biology as the warlord to give it, after the first wound, it then gets -1 off the damages from things. HQ. We've got troops. We've got 2 units of 20 Gene Stealers. They will particularly love the 3d6 for advance because they can charge after the advance, of course, which is wonderful. So as troops, the other troops I've got is my proxy, my 3 Ripper units that they're very hungry.
Yep. Your single Ripper unit.
Very similar. Their idea is they deep strike onto an objective. That's their job.
Yep.
Stay out of trouble. Hide. Yes, as you do. Elites, I've got 6 Hive Guard with the Impaler cannons.
Yes.
6 because I love that stratagem for shooting twice for 2 command points.
Yep.
And that will be, obviously they'll hurt something a lot. Hopefully.
Impaler cannons let you shoot stuff that you can't see.
They can stay out of line of sight, so they can hide and still shoot 36 inches and you don't get cover saves.
And 3 damage each.
D3.
D3 damage.
Strength 8 AP -2 D3 damage.
Very good. 6 of them shooting twice. Big threat.
Heavy support. 2 units of the guys that shoot.
Bivors?
Bivors, yes.
Proxy Bivor, or we got one actual Bivor?
One in each.
One actual Bivor.
Unit 3.
Right, now, so that's your army.
No, and Hive Clone.
Hive Clone.
Which is my proxy.
It's
got wings.
It's got wings. Yeah, right.
I'm going to try the Hive Clone again because of the Kraken.
Yep.
It can move 30 inches in assault.
Yes.
So I can get almost anywhere and get into assault with something soft but squishy that likes to shoot, so it can't shoot in its turn because it's going to leave combat. It won't be able to shoot.
So Hive Crone's like the Harpy but combat version.
They've got exactly the same number of attacks, same toughness, same everything. The Hive Crone has the tail attack, so it's 1 extra attack instead of 3.
Yep.
Effectively has 4 because of its tail.
Right. Is it a lot cheaper than the Harpy?
It's about 15 points.
So what are your tactics? What are you thinking? So obviously you've got your behemoths.
No, not Behemoth. That was the previous.
That was reroll charge.
Kraken.
So this lets you
roll 3 dice for advance.
Yes, and you've got 40 Gene Steals, which are going to take full advantage of that.
They're going to move pretty damn fast. Plus, there's a stratagem that you can also. It's one of the stratagems you can use.
Yep.
Is 1 command point double your advance.
Wow. Okay.
So
right.
These guys are going to move 8.
That's scary.
3 dice for pick the highest of 3 dice.
Yeah.
You're easily going to get a 5 or 6.
Yes.
I hope.
Yes.
Oh, let's double that, and then they can still assault.
Right.
So they can go a long way. Hopefully.
Yeah. No, that's very good. And then you can fall back.
These
and
2
assault.
guys, the 2 flyers, the Hive Tyrant and the Hive Crone, they can assault.
Yes.
Jump out of assault, shoot,
because they're flyer,
and assault again.
And so they can jump out because they're flyer,
Yep.
jump out and shoot because they're flyer, and they can jump out and assault because of Kraken.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
So that really, Kraken really, those guys, the Gene Stealers and the flyers,
Yep.
that can shoot and assault.
Yep.
Kraken really works in well with them, I think.
So you've got a fire base that sits at home. You've got Rippers, which are sit on your home objective,
They're
out of sight.
Any objective because they can deep strike.
Yeah, that's right. And then you've got 40 Gene Steals, very offensive, very quick with Kraken. And then these guys can take full advantage of moving, falling back and shooting because they're flyers, and then charging something else, all the same thing.
And because they're
just
flyers,
to
they
get
can
first.
hopefully jump over a bubble wrap.
Yes.
There's the juicy stuff behind is what I'm hoping.
Very good. Very good.
That's the theory. Let's see how it works.
Let's see. All right, now let's have a look at the AdMech. Now, this is the same list exactly the same list as what I used last time in the last battle report. So we got the Tech Priest Dominus as the HQ. Let's get some focus on him. There we go. So he's got the Volkite Blaster, and on the Cyan Axe. Other than that, he's pretty much standard. He's my Warlord, and he has the Warlord trait where he gets to reroll a single to hit, to wound, and something else. And then he can get on a roll of a 6+. He can, when I or my opponent uses a stratagem, I get a stratagem, but I can get a command point back. This is my proxy cybernetic data smith for the moment. So just using an unpainted tech priest here. So I need to get my data smith before the tournament, which is in about 2 months. So the data smith has his stock, except he's got a relic, which is the Omniscient Mask, which basically means Skitarii units get to, within 6 inches, get to reroll all failed hits in the combat, in the fight phase. So Skitarii units in this list include these Dragoons, and everything, all the small guys, and the Dune Crawler, which won't be in combat, hopefully. But so it's particularly useful for the Dragoons and these Infiltrators. So we'll move on to the troops now. So I've got a unit of 5 Vanguard. So these 5 Vanguard have a Plasma Cavalier in there. Other than that, standard. We've got a unit of 7 basic Vanguard. A unit of 5 Rangers with the 2... I'm not even going to try and just pronounce the names, but the 2 Super Sniper Rifles. They're Super Sniper Rifles because they're 60-inch range, strength 7, neg 2 save, and D3 damage. Still 6s to wound, cause mortal wounds, and they can target characters. So they're very, very versatile units. I've got a unit of 5 Rangers with 2 Arc Rifles for a bit of vehicle damage. And Arc Rifles are fantastic. I think they're 4 points each, and they're strength 6, -1 save, rapid fire 24 inches. Although Tyranids don't have any vehicles, that strength 6 will definitely be appreciated. 5 Infiltrators. Now these are just my back underbelly assault unit, so that'll in this battle will be likely going after things like the Hive Guard or the Biovores or something like that. Just something I can get in the back lines, very quick, do lots of attacks, because most softer artillery units or backline units aren't too resilient, so I want more attacks versus high quality attacks. Here we've got the 3 Castellan robots. So 2 have the fists and 1 has the guns. So these are Forge World models. These are based from the Horus Heresy, and I've converted this one with 2 guns from Dune Crawlers. They're Eradication Array, I think they're called, to make him have 2 guns. Now these guys in the Forge World version, they're part of the Adeptus Mechanicus Tagmata army from the Horus Heresy. Now these things on their arms aren't guns; they're actually gravitational fists. So they crush people below their gravitation forces that their fists cause. And I don't know if you can see, but they've got little missiles just above their heads. It's not really coming up. So that I'm counting them as their heavy phosphor blasters. And then we've got the Honored Dune Crawler with the neutron laser, very effective weapon. Always does a minimum of 3 damage, which is very reliable because it has D3 shots. And finally got a unit of 4 Dragoons. Now, the whole idea is that this army is a Styges 7 army, so the opponent has -1 to hit them when they're more than 12 inches away, which has very good synergy with the Dragoons, which already have their -1 to hit. So if more than 12 inches away, they're always -2 to hit. Makes them quite resilient, considering they only have a 4+ armor. And so the whole idea is I have the Dominus with the Dune Crawler and the Snipers and maybe the other unit of Rangers as kind of my backfield castle. And then I have the Cybernetic Data Smith go with either the dragoons or the castellan robots, the infiltrators, and some of the vanguard to move up and do the midfield, backfield kind of abilities. Now the Digi 7 specific stratagem is one of the best in the game. 1 command point, and you can put a unit. So this is after deployment. So you select one unit, you put it in the ambush, and after deployment, you set up that unit more than 9 inches away. Now, why is this better than just any other normal deep strike? Well, it's because it's after deployment. It's not the end of the movement phase. So if I deploy them and then get first turn, I'm 9 inches away. Then I can move my 8 with the robots. I'm literally an inch away from an enemy that I want to assault. So then I can, 9 inches away, I can be complete opposite side of the board, move, shoot, charge something. It's fantastic. For 1 command point, it's one of the best. Now, not so great if you don't get first turn, but either way, you can get them into a threatening position, ruin your opponent's battle plans, that kind of thing. All right, so let's move on to deployment and see who gets first turn. So we got the Admech first. So I'm really scared of John's deep striking hive tyrant. So what I've done is I initially put these guys here, but then it was more than 9 inches, so John might have been able to place his hive tyrant here. So what I've done is I've put my 5 vanguard here, and I initially deployed this little castle here where you see the Dominus at the bottom floor will be giving his aura rerolls of 1 to both the snipers and the Dune Crawler. And I'm like, oh, I've got my castle here, but then I'm like, there's a definite open gap here for the hive tyrant to come in. So what I've done is I've strung out these 7 vanguard here to try and completely limit his deployment. Literally, his deep strike. Sorry. So literally, John can't deploy in my deployment zone at all. I put my cybernetic data smith up here to give my dragoons rerolls to hit in combat, and I left my castellan robots last to deploy because I could use that stratagem where they could ambush, effectively being able to shoot, move, and charge if I get first turn. But John completely denied my deployment opportunities.
Wow. Well, William's just been interrupted for a sec. I was a bit worried about his robots that could deep strike and then move and assault and all that kind of stuff with the stratagem you can use. I didn't want him to get towards my hive guard, which I've got in the middle here, and a couple of biovils there and a few biovils there. So I strung the gene steals around just to avoid him getting that easy deep strike and killing my fire base. My flyer is here as well, again protected from the ring of gene steals. I'm happy for him to deep strike and assault my gene steals. Like, there's still room for him down here, for example. Look, if he comes after my gene steals, he'll have 40 gene steals coming after his 1 unit of deep strikers, and yeah, I think I know who will win that. I mean, his guys do like 3 wounds a pop, and gene steals don't care about that, and they've got their invul, 1 wound each, so they're happy with that. I've got my hive tyrant and my rippers in reserve. The rippers obviously will be trying to grab an objective at some point.
Right, now, John finished first, even though I started deploying first, so he has the +1 to go first. Let's see. So I get a... Oh, that's... we know what's happening there. Now, Chapter Proof just came out today, and that says you cannot use your command points to reroll any mission rolls. That includes these first going first missions. This includes, say, game ends on turn 5 and roll a 1 or 2, it finishes. You can't reroll that with a command point. You can't reroll any mission-specific rolls now. With
Season initiative?
So season initiative, no, that's before. You can't. Basically, you can't. You can't reroll anything that's outside of your normal battle round turns.
Within the phases. Yep.
Okay. So that's a new.
Well, that's right. Well,
do we even have season in the new thing with only getting the +1? Oh, we'll try and see.
No, that's just with first turn of 1 first turn. You can still seize the initiative if you want.
Well, I do want to try and seize the initiative. All right, let's go for a roll. Ready? Need a 6. There we go. 2 1s in a row. Well, that's a good start. And that dice is getting thrown away. Of Tyranids movement. Now, the Bivores all shuffled the 0.1 of a millimeter. I made sure John did shuffle that 0.1 of a millimeter. Gene Stealers moved up. These Gene Stealers have moved up through the ruins. Hive Guard stays still because they want to get the +1 to hit. Now, the Hive Crone was here, all the way over here. Massive jump. How long was that? 20 inches? 30 inches. Which means a 5-inch charge. Great. Let's hoping for D3 shots and 3 6s to hit on Overwatch to demolish that, or really bad Overwatch. Now the Hive Tyrant. So my null deployment over here has worked. As my Hive Tyrant's John's Hive Tyrant's landed there, which is 9 inches away. So it looks like he's trying to overwhelm this flank where they've got the particularly good shooting, and he's avoided this mess of robot and metal.
What's a group of robots like that called?
A mess.
A mess.
In terms of the Tyranid spores shooting the raw material up into the atmosphere for the Hive fleet to absorb. Now John's chosen to grow this spore, and over here this one. Now what these ejected markers are good for is that you can roll this across like so and put different numbers on there.
2, 3, 4.
Right. So they're perfect. So we're just going to keep track of them that way. Right. So now let's move on to psychic phase, and then shooting phase. Tyrant's got 2 powers. John rolled for them, and he got the horror. And what was the other one? Onslaught. Horror is -1 to hit and -1 leadership. And onslaught means you can advance and shoot or charge. Shoot heavy weapons or charge with no penalty. All right, so which one are you doing first, John?
Going to do -1 on them. Horror.
Or
snipers.
On the snipers. Gets a 2 and a 4.
Comes
6. So comes off. I can't deny it. I have no psychers.
So -1. And then smite.
Ooh, right. Just comes off. So you do D3 mortal wounds onto the Dunecrawler. 2. So he has 9 left.
And then shooting.
Right. 9 left on the Hive Guard. Firing at these Dragoons. Now John's -2 to hit, so normally 3+, but going to 4+. Now they're out of snaps, so they're -1 to hit unless they're firing at the closest. Now these Dragoons are the closest, but they have their natural -1 to hit and Styges 7, which means another -1 to hit, so -2 to hit. All right, here we go. 5 to hit. 2. That's all right for me. Strength 8, need 3s to wound and 2 wounds. Now what's the neg on that?
Oh, you got save. -2.
-2. So I've got 6 up no matter what. And that is 2 failed. So that's D3 wounds each. So that's 4 wounds. During Tyranid shooting, John's Bivores, so we've got at least one normal one there. So these are Bivores, and then a couple of Bivores there. Now, they've chosen to shoot at my guys. Now, because they moved, they're -1 to hit. So normally 4+ goes to 5+. And then shooting at Styges units, which makes it more than 12 inches away, so it makes that 5+ go to 6+. But then shooting in the case of these Vanguard, they're not the closest unit, and they're out of synapse range. It's an additional -1, so they're actually hitting on 7+. And these guys, which are the closest, have their natural -1 built into the Dragoons. So John's Bivores are hitting on a 7+ because he's moved. So what that means is that these spore mines, rather than having to roll the hit effectively, he just goes, yeah, I'm just going to place them. And they have to be more than 3 inches away from the enemy, between 3 and 6 inches effectively. But what that's done is it severely limited my movement. So this guy here, he can't fit into there without going closer than an inch. So John's actually stopped my guys from going through here in the movement phase, because I can't kill them and get rid of them before the movement phase. And over here, he stopped my guys going this way. So all I can do is go around here, then kill them. So very clever tactic, John, using my own Styges or Styges, whatever you call it, my own army ability against me to severely limit my movement options. They're a problem. I'm going to have to take care of them. All right, let's go on to the rest of Tyrant. What's he going to shoot at?
Your vehicle.
The Dune Crawler? Yep. All right, here we go.
3 shots.
3 shots. Well, John loves his time.
All hits.
3 hits, yep.
Strength 9.
3s to wounds. 1 wounds. Right, I've got a 5-up invul save.
Oh.
Very nice.
There we go.
Assault phase. What's going to happen, John? Boom. So we got the Hive Crone assaulting the Dune Crawler, where I get D3 shots for Overwatch. 1. Right, that's not great. I'm going to get rid of that dice. Let's try this dice from there. So I need a 6 to hit, and I can reroll 1s because I'm within 6 inches of the Dominus. What do I get? Oh, yeah. Right, so that's strength 10. What's your toughness?
6.
Need a 3? No. Needing a 3.
It's not bad.
I have 4 command points. It's kind of worth it. That's a minimum, a guaranteed 3 wounds. I'm going to re-roll that. Okay. That does D6 wounds with a minimum of 3. How many? 6 wounds. Worth it. That was definitely worth a command point.
What's
Right.
the AP on that? Yeah.
-4 AP. So that's definitely 6 wounds. Right. 6 wounds done to that Hive Crone on coming in.
6.
So he's down to 6, literally half his wounds. Then I've got Heavy Stubber, hitting on 6s, no hits. Okay, right. Do you make it in, John? 7, yes. Well, that's definitely enough in.
He makes it.
All right, he makes it in. Okay, well, at least that's... All
We'll try to do the same.
right, Hive Tyrant, trying to do the same. 4 inches, that ain't enough. Are you going to use a command point? 1 of your 4 to reroll that 1 and maybe get...
A 5.
A
I need
5.
a 5. Not worth it.
No, not doing it. All right, Hive Tyrant left with his balls out in the wind. Let's go on to the fight phase for the 3 attacks.
Any 4s.
He 4s hit. 2 hits. Yep. That one's not going to do anything.
6.
Strength 6, toughness 7, no wounds.
Okay, and he's Wicked Spur.
Ooh, what a name. Wicked Spur. Misses.
Nothing.
Right. So the Dune Crawler back. Dune Crawler attacking back the Hive Crone. So I'm on 8 wounds. So I am above my profile. So I have 3 attacks. Now I'm hitting on 5+. So I get 1 hit. And I am strength 6, toughness 6. That's a wound. And that's 1 armor save for John with no negatives. And he passes. All right. That's the end of Tyranids turn 1. Let's go on to Admech movement phase. Now, I literally can't fit through there, and I'm not going to send my Dragoons all the way up there by themselves. I'm deciding to leave my Infiltrators off for the moment. The reason for that is there's a lot of Gene Stealers here. Yes, I could put them here, threaten these Biovores and other things, but that just means John has to send 1 unit of Gene Stealers back and will demolish those Infiltrators. So what I'm doing is I'm basically giving John the decision. Does he send both units of Gene Stealers forward or keep 1 back? If he sends both forward, I've pulled back my army and I can deal with that 1 at a time. And then he can leave these other units up here and I can deal with them later date. Or does he send them both forward, put pressure on here, but then free up my Infiltrators to come down and basically take their pick of what they want to take out? So I've done that as my tactical decision. Also tactically, I've decided to put my 2 growth points on the Tyranid spore launcher, which is the objective. So I've put 2 on here. So John put 1 on that and 1 on this one over here. Now he's vacated that objective for the moment. He does have his Rippers, which will come on at a later date. But my idea is that these Biovores are not going to move. So I'm going to blow this up, do that damage to them, and deny him that objective. And then that leaves some of these other objectives open for me to get later. Here's also the other thing is that objective there. If John does send his objectives, his Gene Stealers forward, I haven't put any points on my objectives at the moment. So even if he gets his Gene Stealers in and does damage to my forces, he may not get any points from the objectives. And that's all that really matters in this game. Of note is that because of these bio-blocker spore mines, he's forced my hand in my deployment. Now I advanced these Vanguard, 3 inches. These Vanguard didn't advance. Now these little guns will be perfect for taking out these scattered spore mines. My Dune Crawler fell back. Now I'm about to heal D3 wounds off him from the Dominus. What do I get? Well, there's 3 wounds back, so he's back up to full health, just like that. Excellent. Now we're going on to Admech turn 1. 5 of these guys are within range. You can see these 2 up here can't see the hive crone. So I've got 5 guys, 3 shots each, needing 3s to hit because they haven't moved, and they're re-rolling 1s because of my canticles. So I'm going to re-roll that one. So plenty of 2s in there, but no 1s. Lots of 2s actually. 6. Okay, so there's that many hits. Now, strength 3, toughness 6. So I need 6s, but if I roll 6s, they cause 2 wounds instead of 1. All right, let's move on to some other shooting. So I'm firing the snipers from in here at the hive crone. He's got 6 wounds remaining. The Vanguard didn't do anything. Let's see if these guys can do better. So I've got 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s. There's a 1. That's for the Canticles and the Dominus. 6 hits. These are for the normal guns. Now, 5 wounds being strength 4, and 6 is a negative 1 AP. Oi, there we go. 3 saves at neg 1, John.
5s.
Boom. 3 wounds like that just from the small arms fire. Right, now I've got 2 snipers. The 2 snipers up the top there are going to shoot him. He's got 3 wounds left. Let's see what they do. So they need 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s, 2 hits, strength 7. Best snipers in the game, winning on 3s. That's 1 wound at neg 2, so you've got a 6 up save. Lucky man. All right, well, not really a man. He's got no gender there, but
Sure, I got slash happy.
yeah, he should be dead. Right, okay. Let's fire the Dominus now. The Dominus is going to, who's over here, he's going to try and take out the last 3 remaining wounds on that hive crone. So he's got his macro stubber, which is 5-shot pistol, re-rolling 1s from his own aura, and hitting on 2. So that's 5 hits, strength 4, so needing 5s to wound. 3 wounds, very nice. So you got 3 4-up saves. Oi! Dominus! I had my Volkite blaster ready to shoot him, and then, yeah, just the macro stubber. Bloody Uzi pistol, ultra Uzi pistol, took him out. Goodbye, hive crone.
I don't think he's anyone 3 inches, so it doesn't matter.
No, so he blows up.
Oh, he can't blow him.
Oh, no, you can't do much anymore. Right, so I've still got my Castellan robots to fire now. Now,
First blood.
I've got first blood, and means my Castellans can shoot at something else. Castellan robots fire them at the hive tyrant. Now, these guys were here to take out the hive crone if my other stuff couldn't. Now, my other stuff did, so that's fantastic. So he's the one with the 3 guns, so he's got 9 shots. This guy can see the hive tyrant, but this guy here can't. So he can't see anything because he's got line of sight blocked over there and line of sight blocked here. But these guys, they can see just. So we've all measured it up. It's all good. So we've got the 9 shots from the guy with 3 guns and 3 shots from the guys with the 2 fists. So we're hitting on 4s and
Minus 1 to hit because of him.
Hitting on 5s because of his chameleon, and then I have re-rolls of 1. So here's the thing though: if I shoot him, any damage, and I do just a little bit of damage, any further damage means it's reduced by 1. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty bad. But then I'm like, damage is damage, yeah. Better shoot at him than do no damage. So the rest of John's forces are further enough away that they're probably a turn at least. I've got another turn maybe to get away. So let's pull let's fire their salvo at him, and hopefully we can do a bunch of damage. Now these only do 1 damage each, so it's probably in John's favour, but I don't like not shooting if I have the opportunity to shoot. So here we go. We need 5s to hit, re-rolling 1s. So there's 3 1s. Get to re-roll them from the canticles. And then we get 4 wounds. 4 hits, sorry. Strength 6, toughness 7, 5 to wound. 1 save at neg 1.
Let's hope I fail it, shall I?
Yeah, please don't.
Oh, damn it.
Great. So John hasn't failed a wound, which means damage is normal, which means I've got plenty of extra damage coming up next turn if he decides to come in and try and disrupt my forces. Also of note is I would have pulled a lot of my stuff out of the range of some of these bivores. So that will limit his ability to disrupt my movement capabilities. All right, so that's the end of Admech turn 1. I took out a hive crone and some spore mines, which gave me first blood, which I'm happy about. All right, let's move on to Tyranids movement. So the gene stealers, we should call them wuss stealers, being big fraidy cats they are.
They do what they're told.
They do what they're told. Yeah, there is a hive tyrant around saying, don't you go forward. There is a lot of gun there. Basically, what happened is the Admech took down the hive crone and some spore mines, and they went, oh, geez, that's pretty scary, yo. And then they're all backing off. So hive tyrant, who was here, is gone back over there. John said he's basically going to use his shooting, trying to outshoot the Admech. Good luck to him. And the gene stealers have made a big line, basically, try and deny my infiltrators places to deploy. And John's going the objective game. So these gene stealers are trying to protect the spore launchers. He's going to make some of them grow, and then that's going to give him the points at the end of the game. That's his tactic. He's feeling he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives, and Admech have 1 and 2. And he's playing a numbers game. He's like, well, I've got 4, you've got 2. I'm just going to stick on my objectives, and you have to come to me to get them. So, and look, that's a fair tactic. Let's see if that works. Let's move on to Tyranids shooting. So, the incredibly frustrating ability of the biovores.
Let's call them bio-misses.
Bio-misses. The bio-blockers is what I like to call them. So, again, they're shooting at the dragoons, which means they're hitting on 7s because they moved, which means they automatically miss, which means they can put these spore mines here, effectively blocking my movement again. And then he's done the same thing on this side, trying to limit my movement around here. Look, let's be honest, that's actually really effective when you've got 5 biovores, and there's not much I can do about them when they've got 40-inch range. And yeah, there's not much, and you've got terrain like this where it's such limiting in your options. So
you've got to go around.
I have to go around. I can't go over the terrain because 8th edition, you can't just go over things anymore.
Well, more the point, these are not infantry, so they can't go over. If they were infantry, they could.
Yes, that's right. If they're infantry, they can go over the building, but they're vehicles, so they cannot. Which is John's effectively blocking them in, and because they're combat and movement orientated, even though they got 10-inch movement,
Can they go over that?
They sure can go over that, but they have to go all the way around, and then John will just block them in and again. So the only way to really stop this is to spread my guys out. Hive Guard have chosen to shoot the dragoons again. Let's see what happens. So 5s to hit. That was a little bit better than the last time by 2. Strength 7, toughness 6.
8.
Well, 3s to wound. 3 wounds.
3 saves at -2.
So I've got normally a 4+ save. I need to do mechanicals for this turn.
Which mechanicals?
I didn't choose. So mechanicals were I just rolled for it, rolled a 2. And that was basically any units within 1 inch take D3 mortal wounds and roll of 6. So pretty useless, but at least it gets rid of a rubbish mechanicals result, so then I can choose a good one later. Okay, so the Hive Guard did 3 wounds against the dragoons. Now they've got 4-up save, which goes up to a 6-up, where they've got a 6-up invul. So pass 1, so 2 get through, which is fine.
3 damage.
3 damage. So I'm going to apply the 1 damage first and then the 2. So that 1 damage puts this guy on 2 wounds down to 1, and then the 2 damage kills that guy. Now he blows up on a roll of a 6. Nope. So that's just 1 dragoon gone. Does 2 wounds. Torrent fired at the sniper guys. 2 shots, 1 hit, 1 wound. Strength is high, so triple my toughness. And what's the AP?
Minus A bunch.
So I've got
Two, I believe.
So I've got a four up save, goes to 3 up from the cover. So I've got a 5 up to ignore it, and that's a 3. So 1. So that's the end of Tyranids shooting. So he did 2 wounds on a dragoon and blew it up from the hive guard and killed 1 ranger.
How do you say stalemate?
Yeah. So well, look. John's just keeping me in my deployment zone and claiming these objectives. And so I've got more guns than him, though. But he's got more maneuverability and more bodies. So this is going to be an interesting one. All right, let's move on to Admech turn 2. John forgot to choose which spores he's going to grow. So he chose this one and that one to put him on 1. So we've got 1, 1, 1, and this one's on 3. So they're all the ones in his deployment zone have points on them.
Now it's your turn.
Now it's my turn too. So first off, I am going to choose to put...
You can give me more if you want to.
I'm going to put... I will put 1 on this one. Just 1. And then I'm going to put 1 on this one. So this will go up to 4. It's a bit sticky. There we go. Done. So we got a 4, 1, 1, 1, and then over in the building 1, and that one over there is 0. All right, let's start Admech turn 1. Turn 2. Sorry. Turn 2 movement. Now I can't really do much because these damn spore mines are literally winning the game for John. I can't physically move these guys up any further. I've had to advance these Vanguard and these Vanguard just to try and get close enough to get in front like I have here to surround these guys, shoot the spore mines, and then next turn if John puts more spore mines over here, then the little guys can kind of fit through, and then the gap where they were leaves enough space for the robots. But it's severely limiting my deployment, my movement options with this big line of sight blocking terrain. You know, it's supposed to be in there for 8 to stop certain armies demolishing others, and in this case it's actually helping John's army defeat mine by just the quirk of the rule that you can't go within an inch in the movement phase. Yeah, it's been very effective. So that's my movement phase. So I've put some good shooter units in line with John's Hive Tyrant. Hopefully can do a bunch of damage, but the rest of the guys need to get up and do some damage and get some shots on, but I can't. So just going to take some turns. This is turn 2. I've got 5, maybe 6 or 7 to get the stuff I need done. Let's see what happens. So during the Admech shooting turn, yeah, these Vanguard and these Vanguard took out the spore mines. It's pretty easy to do. Toughness 1, 1 wound, 7+ save.
It's almost like you can just ignore them.
It's almost like you could just ignore them if it wasn't for a quirk of the rules. Okay. I'm going to fire my big guns. So I'm going to fire this dude first at John's Hive Tyrant. So I get D3 shots, 2 shots, hitting on 3s.
Oh, you're -1 because of the...
Hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s because of the Dominus. Okay. And wounding on 3s. That's a wound. John's got a 4-up invul. That's a 4-up invul passed. All right, no damage done. Okay, right. So I'm going to fire this unit now. I'm going to fire the snipers first. I don't even know. Actually, no, I'm going to fire 2 snipers at your Hive Guard. So they've got 60-inch range. There's 2 hits, hitting on 3s. Strength 7, toughness 5, 3s to wounds, 2 wounds. Neg 2 to your save, so you get a 5-up.
Oh, neg 2. Oh, because I'm covered.
Yep.
Okay, 5. 1 save.
1 gets through. D3 damage per shot. That's 1 dead. Good snipers. Now the other little guns will fire, which is the 2 remaining guys. Will fire at the Hive Tyrant. Get 1 hit. And no wounds. And then I'm going to fire this guy at the Hive Tyrant as well. So he's got 36-inch range. Again, I'm probably not the best thing to shoot at because if I do damage, he will ignore all further damage by 1. And then this thing is very tough with 4+ invul and neg 1 to hit. with this large line of sight blocking terrain. Now, John chose the deployment zone. Well, we roll it off randomly for deployment zone, but he chose the end. So this severely blocked my line of sight for shooting. So I've really been left without many options for shooting. So I'm doing the best I can, but not liking my chances. All right, so I need 5s to hit, re-rolling 1s because the Dominus is within 6. Dominus within 6. I got 2 1s, re-rolling them. All right, I'm not sure what that was, but that is very good rolling for hits. Strength 6, toughness 7, because it got an extra toughness with the Codex. So 6 hits, and that is 1 wound. Just 1 wound. So you got a 4-up save.
Yeah, I failed one. How much damage did I take?
Just 1 damage.
Ah, what a shame.
Yep, so now his relics come off, so which means he now reduces all damage by 1 to a minimum of 1, and he has 11 wounds to go. And that is literally the end of my turn, because I literally can't do anything else because of those damn spore mines. I can't do anything when they're blocking my movement so severely. So we're moving on to Tyranids turn 3 movement. So not much has moved except the Tyranid hive tyrant has moved from over there to here. Gene Stealers literally didn't move at all. They don't need to. John's figured he's got this game in the bag. I'm here to prove him wrong. Rippers have come down. They had to come down, otherwise they'd get this.
Oh, and guess what? The biomass moved a little bit.
Look, I have one trick up my sleeve. You know what that is? Arc says unless your models have 3 colors, then they can't be deployed.
That's actually be the right model.
They do have to also be the right models. So in that case, gone. So that whole unit of Gene Stealers is gone. They've only got 2 colors. So that unit of Gene Stealers is gone. That's black. That's white. So you would be left with, they're not even the proper model. So you would literally be left with your hive tyrant. And that's it if we're playing proper. Right, so end of Tyranids turn 3 movement. So the Gene Stealers literally haven't moved. John thinks he's got this game in the bag, and he might be right. I'm here to prove him wrong. But literally the hive tyrant moved from over there to here, and the Biovores just shuffled that couple of millimeters, and the Ripper Swarms came in back here. They had to come in this turn, otherwise they were destroyed. And that's it. John put his 2 points of on the objective, so he's put this one up to 3, so it's currently worth 3 victory points. But if it gets up to 6, it blows up, and any units within D6 take effectively D3 mortal wounds, because I don't have any units with greater than 10 around here at the moment. So, yeah, let's move on to Tyranids shooting turn 3. Shoot the Dragoons with the Hive Guard. So I killed one, so he's got a couple shots less than normal. So he's hitting on 5, so 2 hits. And 1 wound, being strength 8, toughness 6. Now I've got a 6-up save. Nope. So it does D3 damage. 3. Bang. Just like that. So let's put 3 on that back one there. Okay. Right. What else you got to shoot the hive tyrant? What's he got to shoot at?
36. You can jump those, or yeah, might as well go the same.
Yeah, you can see these guys. Yep. Okay. Right.
3 shots. 3 shots.
3 shots. He likes his 3 shots and 3 hits. No, neg 2.
You're neg 2, so 2 hits.
2 hits. 2 wounds.
Yep.
2 6-up invols. Nope, both get through.
3 damage each.
3 damage. Whoa, wow. Okay, so you kill one who was already on 3 damage.
Oh, perfect.
So he blows up on a 6, no, and then you do 3 damage to another one. Very, very successful rolling. Yeah, it's looking less and less likely that I can do something about this battle.
Yeah, and I've got the bio misses to come.
And then we got the broken bio misses, the blockers to come. Landed here again. I literally can't do anything. John puts them right at the limit, so I get to move 2 inches effectively. So he puts them just over 3 inches away. I move up my 2, then I have to shoot them, and then rinse and repeat. So these guys can only move, like my army can only move up to 2 inches at a time effectively, because he places them here, just because of the way terrain is with the vehicles. So if this wasn't here, I would be okay. My vehicles could go through and go around, but it just happens to be that we've included this large line of sight blocking terrain, so I can't move forward at all. These guys here can go around and over and get around fairly easily, allowing these vehicles to come through. But just because of the terrain and the rules of 8th edition and those by-wars, he's limiting my movement to 2 inches, unless I move all the way out here and then come around. But that's and then what he'll do next turn is he'll just put them over here, and then I'd have to go all the way around to get to objectives, which is just crazy. So these by-wars are winning John the game. This is the end of his turn 3. He's shooting me with some great shooting from his Hive Tyrant and Hive Guard. I'm supposed to be Admech, supposed to have better shooting, but I can't get into firing positions because of these by-wars. It's game winning. A bit broken in my opinion. I would be happy to walk through these things and take the mortal wound and move my full movement, but that's not the way the rules are written. So no charges from Tyranids. So it's moving on to Admech, turn 3. Turn 3 movement. So infiltrators come down. They're going to try and put shots on these by-wars. Maybe I should have done this earlier, try and kill them. But I was a bit hesitant because my original game plan was to put them on later to be reactive to the how many points each objective is worth. Now I've deliberately put them a little bit away from this objective in case John wants to put 2 on it and blow it up, cause some mortal wounds to them. If he doesn't, then I might jump on it at a later stage, giving me those options. I got a 5 from my advance for these Dragoons, so they've run around effectively, these bullshit, these bloody bio blockers. He's probably a bit close, just moving back a little bit there. And these guys have moved up to shoot here. The Dune Crawlers moved just around the building to try and get some shots off up there. Let's move on to Admech turn 3 shooting and see what we can do. Quick note, I put my point for growing the spore vents, 1 on this objective, so these guys might be able to come back and get the point there. And then I put another one on objective 5. So my idea is that I might be able to blow that up later in the game, deny John that one, do some mortal wounds, and then hopefully try and fight for these middle ones and maybe, just maybe, get a draw somehow, but we'll see. All right, let's move on to Admech shooting. Crawler is going to fire at the Hive Guard, gets D3 shots, 2. That's not bad. He's within 6 inches of the Dominus, needs 3s to hit, 2 hits. Now, these need 2s to wound, and they'll burn straight through John's cover save. So 2 wounds. There's no point rolling because they're -4 to the save. So instead of a 4 up, they go to 3 up, but then it's all
minimum 3 damage, isn't it?
Minimum 3 damage each. So that's two Hive Guard gone just like that. It's good to have some 60-inch range snipers. These snipers here, let me see if I can line that up. Yeah, can see straight over through this doorway, and then see these by-walls, which are causing me so much havoc. So I've got 2 sniper shots, hitting on 3s. They haven't moved. Re-rolling 1s because of the Dominus. Still a miss. 1 hit, strength 7, toughness 4, 3s to wound. That's a wound. -2 to your save. What save do by-walls have? So 6 up. Nope. D3 wounds, 1 dead. They have 4 wounds each. Wow, right, by-walls 4 wounds each. Very powerful in this game. All right, let's move on to some other Admech. Castellan robots over here. Just these 2 can see. This one obviously can't. They're shooting at the Hive Tyrant there. They need 5s to hit because of Chameleon. Pretty much the only target. Wow, that was amazing rolling. Re-rolling 1s for the Dominus, don't need it when you roll like that. Now, John's relic has come into play where damage is reduced to a minimum by 1 to a minimum of 1. These shots only do 1 damage, so they're unaffected. Now they need 5s to wound. Not so wow. 1 save. 4 up invul. These infiltrators here are going to fire at the Biovores. Now, I've got 25 shots and I want to maximize as much of them as I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 1-point stratagem for Scutari units, adding +1 to hit in the shooting phase. So these guys are going to be hitting on 2+. That's 25 dice here. I don't know if I can pick them up with one hand. Thanks, John. Right, Needing 2s to hit. Picking up the 1s. That was a 1. It was a 1. Pretty good rolling. Strength 3, toughness 4, 5 to wound. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wounds there. Let's see. 4 plus saves for the Bivores. How many wounds? There we go. 1, 2, 3. 3 wounds. So 1 kills 1, and then 1's on 2 left. So not as many as I was hoping, but at least I reduced 1 of the spore mines, at least. All right. That is the end of Admech shooting. There's nothing else to shoot. Let's go on to Admech assault for the first time, which is going to be the infiltrators assaulting the Bible. Infiltrators going to assault here. Now I think they're about 9 or 10 inches away.
Just over 9, because I thought we did the one. So,
so
with 10
within a range. Snake Eyes isn't going to do it. To use a command point when I needed 10. No, that's not going to happen. They're pretty much. They've got a lot of Gene Stealers and Hive Tyrant, Hive Guards to deal with now. Maybe they should have come up earlier, or maybe not. Anyway, let's move on to Tyranids. Turn 4 movement. Gene Stealers have moved up here to demolish these infiltrators. Hopefully I can kill a bunch with Overwatch with my Uzis. The other Gene Stealers here just moved off that objective. Onto this one here. Ripper's staying still on this objective here worth 2. Hive Tyrant moved over here. Not sure what he's doing, but he's probably just getting away from the big guns.
Just wants to guarantee the result.
Wants to guarantee that he's going to shoot the infiltrators. That's what he's going to do. Bivores, of course, moved. Using my own army stratagem of Styges 7 against me with a -1 to hit when you're more than 12 inches away. Hive Guard has stayed still, so they have full as high ballistic skill as they can hope for. And that's it. Let's move on to Smite from the Hive Tyrant onto the Infiltrators. Comes off, does D3 wounds. So that's 1 infiltrator dead. So which one am I going to get rid of? I'm going to get rid of this guy at the front. It was also cast on the infiltrators, which is -1 to hit, which also came off, which I don't think is going to come into play too much because they're probably going to get killed before they get to do anything. And they hit in 6s in Overwatch anyway, for what's ever alive. Okay, let's move on to Tyranids' turn. Dragoons again, they've been picking on them all game. Hitting on 5s, 2 hits, and wounding on 3s. 1 wound, I've got a 6-up save. Nope, gets through. How many damage? 3. Oh, you've been doing well with your damages. Yep, takes this one down because the Hive Tyrant does his 3 damage as well. They've got 6 wounds each. Does he blow up on a 6? Nope. So it's another Dragoon Don. Tyrant shooting at the infiltrators. 1 shot, got 1 hit, got 1 wound. I've got a 6-up invul. Nope. So that's one more infiltrator dead. So I'm going to get rid of. John's fully abusing the power of his Biovores, using his Bio Blocker ability. These 2 Biovores, 2 spore mines auto missing this Dragoon because he's -2 to hit, and they move, so -3 from the ballistic skill 4. Let's place 2 spore mines here. I can't even put. I might be able to just get 1 infantry through the very edge. They have to do a little crawl along the edge to get past. But yeah, 2 Bivores fully blocks this whole area getting past, and there's nothing I can do about it. To get past here, I literally have to walk all the way around. So John's fully taken advantage of these abusive power in this in this battle. Again, I've got to move and kill them. So at least I've killed 1 Bivore so far. So I've only got 4 more to go to stop this shenanigans. All right, moving on to Tyranids assault. Okay, so turn 4. John's overwatching the infiltrators with his Gene Stealers. I've got 5 shots each to for the infiltrators to shoot. That's 15 shots. If I can pick them all up with one hand. Here we go. Now hitting on 6s. 1. 2. Strength 3. Wounding on 5s. 1 wound. 5 plus invul. Hey! Killed a Gene Stealer. Yep. Now, here comes their doom.
8.
Charge range 8. I'm not sure if that's enough. Let me measure that up. Yes, that's enough.
mate.
Okay. That went as expected. There was 52 attacks in the end and only 6 wounds to give. Infiltrators have a 4-up armor save and 6-up invul. Gene Stealers have a native neg 1 to AP in their combat, and then 6 is to roll a neg 3. There's only so many 6+ invuls someone can make, so those 3 infiltrators are gone. Right, now, start of AdMech turn 4. First thing I'm going to do is put 2 points on this objective and make that go to 6. So that's on 6, which means it blows up and means any units within D6 of it take damage. So any units within 5, so it would only be the Gene Stealers. Because they, so that objective goes now, no one can claim that. Because they're more than 10, they take D6 mortal wounds. So they take 5 mortal wounds. It's 5 Gene Stealers dead. I'm happy with that. Still a lot left though. Still a lot left. But they can't claim that objective, and I killed 5 Gene Stealers. That's not bad. I'll take that. These guys have just strung out a bit. There's 1 point on the objective here. This one's got 5. John's going to probably blow up this one, so that's why I've got my Dominus out there and my robots. It's got a D6 explosion range. It's got to hit these guys here no matter what now, but I didn't move them because these snipers aren't allowed to shoot if they move. There's no neg 1. It's they can't fire if they move. So I'd rather take the damage, the D3 damage, but still be able to shoot. The Dune Crawler unfortunately can't get out of that range without taking damage, which is okay. If he takes damage, Dominus will heal him up. Dominus and Castellans are out of range of that blowing up as well, which means they can put some firepower on some units up here. And I'm hoping I can kill a lot of Gene Stealers up here, and then maybe turn 5 claim some objectives. But it's not looking good. So because of these bio blocker spore mines, which have literally hindered my game plan severely. So let's move on to AdMech turn 4. Dune Crawler's firing at the hive guard. Got D3 shots. 1. I'm going to use command point for that. Reroll that. So I've got one command point left, and I get 1. Okay. 3's to hit and 2's to wound. That's a wound. That's 1 hive guard dead because it does a minimum of 3 damage. Well, that command point could have been worth it if I got 3 instead of that 1, but it is the way it's meant to be. Okay, let's move on to some other AdMech shooting. These Vanguard firing at these Gene Stealers. 3 shots each. So that many dice. Hitting on 4s because they advanced. Reroll that one. Okay. Mini hit. That was 11 hits. Needing 5s to wound. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 saves for the Gene Stealers. And good rolling, 2 die. Vanguard here, firing at these Gene Stealers. 3 shots each. They advanced as well, so they're hitting on 4s. And that's about average. Yeah, it's pretty close. Whoops, up in the terrain. Wounding on 5s. That's pretty good. 3 wounds. 3 5-up invols. Oh, wow. John just passed more 5+ invols than he failed. So, yeah. Let's see what else I can fire. Building up here, going to fire at the hive guard in the building. They've got 1 shot each, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s because of the Dominus. I'll have to measure that. They're out of range of the Dominus, so only 1 hits. Strength 7, that's a wound. You get neg 2 to your save, so it's a 5-up save. Can't do much about that. All right, let's see what else I've got to shoot. I've got my Castellan robots here. They're pretty much all I've got. I've only killed, I think, 3 Gene Stealers so far, and a fair bit of shooting, to be honest, but John's passed way more invols than he's failed. So let's see how much damage the Castellan's shooting at the Gene Stealers. Needing 4s to hit, re-rolling 1s because of the Dominus. It's 3 1s. And wanting 4s from those. One converted. Strength 6. Toughness 4. 3s to wound. All wounds. So that's that many involved. So let's see if John can roll as good as he has been. No, he hasn't. So that's 1 pass. That's 6 dead. That's a bit better. The end of Admech turn 4. I've got nothing that can assault. These Vanguard advance, so they can't assault. And everything else is out of range. So isn't looking good. John has 2 points here, 1 point and 1 point. I've got 5 points at the moment, plus 1, but that 5 is about to get blown up. So things aren't looking good. It's likely going to be 1 point to Admech. These guys are going to be hurt, and then we got 4 points to the Gene Stealers. I do have First Blood, and that's it at the moment. So advantages in Tyranids' favour, but if I have enough turns, I think I can turn this around. I'm whittling them down slowly now that I'm getting out of these terrible buildings. He can't block me in as much. So let's move on to Tyranids' turn 5. John's chosen to put a point on this objective, putting that up to 6, which means it explodes. And it explodes how many inches? 4 inches, which means it's going to hit that Dune Crawler as well, and the unit in the building, but nothing else.
D3 on this unit.
So it does 3 wounds on that one.
And 1.
And 1 wound on the Dune Crawler. So that's going to leave just 1 sniper, because one of these guys already took a wound, and put the Dune Crawler down to 10 wounds. All right, let's move on to Tyranid movement. Tyranids turn 5 movement, getting to the pointy end. Ripper Swarms doing what Ripper Swarms do best, sitting on a back objective. Bivores sitting on this 2-point objective, and these Gene Stealers and Bivores and Hive Tyrant moved up. These Gene Stealers have moved on to this 1-point objective. It's getting to end of turn 5, so this could be the last turn. Hive Guard have stayed still as they always have. Let's move on to Tyranids' Psychic. Hive Tyrant smiting the Dragoon comes off. He hasn't failed a Psychic power yet. 3 damage. Just like that. 3 damage. Can't stop that, so he's on 3 left.
Horror.
And he's done the horror. Again, he hasn't failed all perils all game. And so these Vanguard are now neg 1 to hit and neg 1 leadership. Hive Guard shooting at the Dragoon as they always have been. So they got 2 hits, needing 3s to wound. There's 1 wound. Can I pass my first 6-up save for them? Nope. That does D3 damage. He's got 3 left. 1. So he's on 2 remaining. Thought I'd die. I thought I'd die. So now we've got the Bivores to fire. Bivores firing at these Vanguard. Needs 6s to hit, 2 6s. That's actually good, because now he can't do his bio-blocking shenanigans. Damn it, he hit. So that's 2 mortal wounds.
Oh, no, I've got to roll for the wound thing.
All right, so 2 wounds.
It's 1 wound and D3.
Right, how many from the D3? 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
You're right.
So dead and dead. Actually, I'll do 1 wound on the sergeant there.
The other 2 Bibles will shoot at him as well.
The other 2 Bivores, 6s to hit. No, so they miss. Which means he gets to place the Bivores down, which means it can stop my blocking. Now, it won't be able to be placed in here. So it has to be more than 3 inches away. And I'm pretty sure it's closer than 3 inches, but we'll measure it up and then we'll see where they end up. Bivores ended up. Not so bad when there's only 2 instead of 5. Though I did take a couple of wounds here. This isn't terrible. I can still work with this. It still does block a lot of my movement. I still can't get him all the way up into their grill in movement phase anyway, but I do have assault after shooting, which allows me to get a bit closer. All right, let's move on to Tyranids' assault, if there are any. John's decided not to assault. He's very girly man, Tyranid army. This one, holding the objectives. Pushing back, just blocking movement, biding his time, letting the juices from the planet being brought up and spit out for the hive fleet above to absorb. Well, the Admech, they don't have much the Tyranids want. They're made out of machines. There's no flesh for them to absorb, so they're happy to sit back and just bide their time and protect their valuable resources. All right, let's move on to AdMech turn 5 and see if I can turn this around somehow. End of AdMech turn 5 movement. So I've moved the Dunecrawler up here. Plenty of good targets around, but it's end of turn 5, so if we finish this turn, I'm going to try and shoot these Rippers off. If I can get 3 hits, 3 D3 shots, I get 3 shots, 3 hits, 3 wounds, I can eliminate them from scoring. Now, in case I only do kill 2 swarms, I've got these guys here, which can do the follow-up damage. Hopefully, if this guy's got 1 wound left or whatever, this guy can't hide. That might be more than 3 inches there. He might have to move in John's next turn anyway if he doesn't want to lose the one that's out of line of sight. So that would put me in the lead. So at the moment, I've got 3 points. I added points over there. John's got 2, 4, 5. This one will be likely contested. And I'm going to assault him. And I have first blood, so then if I don't kill those Rippers and I contest this, it's a draw. If I don't kill those Rippers and I destroy these Gene Stealers, I'll be 1 point up. And if the game ends, then I win. But we've got all this other stuff over here which can do damage. But I can still salvage this situation. Let's go into shooting phase and see what happens. Tech Priest Dominus shot at that spore mine with his macro stubber, 5 shots, strength 4. Pretty easy to take out a toughness 1, 7+ armor spore mine. Now I'm going to fire the Volkite Blaster at these Gene Stealers. Needing 2s to hit, re-rolling 1s for his own aura. Okay. And needing 3s to wound. And if there was any 6s, they would cause mortal wounds. So that's 1 save, 1 Gene Stealer dead. These Vanguard here, I'm going to fire at these Gene Stealers, try and thin out their numbers. So when I do assault them, hopefully I can thin them out enough to remove enough to possibly claim this objective. All right, let's see how much Vanguard here, going to fire at these Gene Stealers, 3 shots each, hitting on 3s. Many hits. That's 12 hits, 5s to wound, 6s cause 2 damage. Not that that makes any damage, any difference here. That's 4 saves on the Gene Stealers. 3 dead. Dunecrawler's firing at these Rippers up here. They have 3 wounds each, and it's going to be 2s to splat them. Now I get D3 shots. How many do I get? That's worth a command point. Last command point. Oh my gosh. Right. My rerolls have literally done, I think, changed one thing for the better. Yep. All game. So anyway, so that's 1 hit and 2s to kill 1. 1 swarm disappears. All right. Now, this one is still visible for these guys. Just, I can see its base. And I do have some Gene Stealers over there. Now, here's the thing. They've probably got a very low leadership, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so they could lose models from leadership. So am I better off?
Leadership 4.
Leadership 4. So they've lost 1. So they're down at a basically 50-50 chance to kill some models. Now, John hasn't used any command points yet because he hasn't needed to. So, but he could roll a 5 or 6 and then another 5 or 6 and that unit wiped out.
Or insane leadership thing.
Or insane leadership thing. I don't know what that does. What does that do?
Oh, it's the auto pass morale.
Right, yes, could do that. So I think I'm better off firing these Castellan robots with the Dominus's reroll 1s to hit. Instead of firing at them, I'm going to fire at these Gene Stealers and try and clear this objective away. At least, if it does go another turn, I've at least eliminated a bit of a threat. All right, let's fire Castellans firing at the Gene Stealers, needing 4s to hit, rerolling 1s because of the Dominus. Thankfully, there are 5 1s. Rerolling them. There we go, another extra 3 hits. That was quite good rolling when I need it most. So that was 8 hits. Wounding on 3s. Very good. That is that many invulnerable saves. All right, there's 3 passed, 4 failed. That's I'm happy with that. John's only got 3 Gene Stealers here left. Now I'm going to assault him with the Dragoon first. Then I'm going to assault him with the Cybernetic Adeptus Smith. And then, and I'm going to assault him with these guys. So let's see what gets in. 11 inches, he's in. So he will go all the way over to here, like so. The cybernetic Adeptus gets 6. We'll measure that up. And the Vanguard also. Okay, so here we got the Vanguard, the Dragoon, and the Adeptus. These guys advance, so they're there to get my troops within. Now, either way, I've got all my troops, with more troops now within inches of this objective, which is good. But we're going to fight with the Dragoon first. So he has 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Now, there's 3 misses, but the Adeptus has the Omniscient mask, which means I get to re-roll all failed misses for Scutari units. Now, any 6s give me an extra 2 hits. Okay, not as lucky as I was hoping, but there's 2 hits. Strength 8. The Gene Stealers are actually toughness 3 because the Vanguard are within combat, so it's 2s to wound. 1 wound in the end. 5+ invul. 1 Gene Stealer dead. Now, John's got 4 command points. He's going to interrupt with 2 Gene Stealers. He's going to save those command points for when he might need them a bit more. I've got Adeptus and I've got 7 Vanguard. What are you going to do?
What about 3? 6 to get 6 attacks. Is it worth 2 command points?
6 attacks for 2 command points. 4 command points left.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
2 command points left. Okay. 6 attacks.
Who are you going for? The Adeptus, the Dragoon, or the Vanguard?
The Adeptus.
Right, that's probably a good choice. You've got 5+ invul, 2+ armor. Here you get Shreddy's armor.
These are the acid more ones.
So hitting on 3s.
And
Toughness 4.
6.
Wounding on 4s. 4s to wound, only 2 wounds, so can't kill him, which is good. And then I've got -3, so it turns that 2 up to a 5 up, or I've got my 5 up invul anyway. So it does 2 wounds to the Adeptus. Has 2 attacks. Now he's hitting on 3s, but he's got a power fist, so he's hitting on 4s, 2 hits. Now strength user ×2, so he has a high strength. There's 1 wound, 1 more invul. No, 1 more Gene Stealer gone. Now we've got the Vanguard to finish off that. Vanguard did 20 wounds on the Gene Stealers, and he had a 5+ save to make. 5 of them. There you go. That 1 Gene Stealer lives. Now he's going to be in Synapse, so he's not going to have to need to take morale. But there you go, 5+s for him to live. If the game ends now, though, I will likely win it because I have more troop within 3 inches of the objective, and I have first blood, and I've got 3 points over here. So we'll just do a few other end game things, and then we'll see. So John did his morale on these Ripper Swarms. He had 2 command points left. Didn't need them. Rolled a 1 for the morale, so they hold. Now on a 1 or 2, the game ends. 1 or 2, the game ends. Right. Right, goes on for another turn. John might be able to get this still, but then I've got another turn after him. So let's see what happens. Turn 6, Tyranids movement. Now these guys have moved, so no matter what, they're going to be out of line of sight from my thing. So I need to see them. I need to have stuff up on that part of the board, or stuff all around here. That's not going to happen when my things are ages away. So those Rippers are well and truly securing that spot for a while. My only hope is to try and move these things up and try and get some shots on the Bivores. But they're 4 wounds. They're quite tough. Alternatively, John's put his extra 2 spore chimney growth points on objective 4 here, which is going to be tightly contested and very hardly fought over. I think it's all going to determine what happens on this combat to what happens in the end of the game. Now the Hive Tyrant, he advanced. Roll 3d6 for Kraken. Rolled a 6. It's not unusual because he wants to assault these guys. Now I just moved them back. Was pretty casual about it. I just thought I just moved back, whatever. Didn't think that he would get so close. So he's got a 6-inch charge to get in. Does have to get his psychic power off to get that charge though, and then he needs to roll a 6. So not unheard of, and there's nothing I can do to try and stop it. John's only got 2 command points left. But this is getting down to the pointy end of the game. Turn 6. Now, I do have First Blood. John does not currently have Line Breaker there, but if he gets to those guys, he will. And he'll potentially stop me if he kills them, scoring those 3 points for that objective. So it's looking like John can easily win this, but if it ended last turn, I would have got the win. I think if John can pull off some good stuff here, he'll get the win. Let's move on to turn 6. Tyranids Onslaught. Very important. Needs to get this off. And John has not failed a psychic power yet, and he has not done perils yet out of 6 turns. Double psychic powers each turn. So dice have been on this Hive Tyrant side. He's also only failed one 4+ invul out of many. So he's doing all right. Let's hope he can fail 6-inch charge. Let's hope he can do what my infiltrators did and roll double 1. Horror on the unit of 7 Vanguard. And there's perils. Hey, and it doesn't come off. So does D3 mortal wounds. 2 wounds. That's not the end of the world, to be honest. And that's a least important one that you could probably think of out of this game. So, look, not too bad. Did take 2 wounds from down to 9 from 12. So he's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And at least my guys can hit at full ballistic skill. So let's move on to Tyranids shooting. Turn 6. Tyrant trying 1 shot at the Castellans.
Nothing.
Misses because he advanced.
Okay.
But he got the power off.
These guys at your vehicle.
I've got at him. Now they're within 12 inches, so they're only -1. So that's 2 hits, luckily.
Yeah.
And
2 wounds.
2 wounds. That's 6 and a 4. Right, I've got 2 6-ups and only 2 wounds left. Nope, he's dead. Doesn't matter what happens. So, yeah, that was 4 wounds. So he's only got 2 left. And does he blow up on a 6? No. Now, I don't have any command points, but I could have blown him up automatically if I used a command point. But unfortunately, these guys, when they blow up, don't do much damage. They're only 1 wound for every unit within 3 inches, so it'd probably be worse for me. But that's the Dragoon gone with some Hive Guard shooting. Got the Bivors. 2 Bivors firing at these 4 guys here. 2 misses.
I'll place some spores. These 2 will also shoot at them.
Yep, these 2 at them as well. One hit, one
The
miss.
hit does D3 wounds. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. Sergeant's gone because he already took a wound, and I'll get rid of... Now here's the thing, I've got the Plasma Cavalier there, but I think I'm going to get rid of him because I'm going to leave these 2 guys closer to the objective. I think that's going to be more important. These guys are going to probably die in the assault phase anyway. So that was very successful for John to kill the Dragoon and get D3 mortal wounds from a spore mine. So let's move on to Tyranids Assault. Important one. Hive Tyrant needs 6. Now I think John's going to do it. He's had some pretty good luck. He hasn't really had any bad luck. And I was right.
Well, he just made it.
Just made it. Yeah. He had another 4 dice.
Plus a 111. You can go all the way over to here.
Yeah. So he can land right there. So can't say I'm surprised with John's role in this game. He has not failed too much stuff. This Hive Tyrant, particularly last game as well we played, he was incredibly resilient and survivable and lucky. This game is no different. Maybe I should paint my my models a bit worse because it seems to be doing pretty good for his models at the moment. So other assaults, we've got the Gene Stealers over here. Now they're pretty much going to be auto in. Now I get my Overwatch. Are you going to do combined assault?
Troops there, haven't you?
Yes, I've got 2 separate units. Are you going to do a combined
assault
charge?
Both units of troops.
Right, which means I get to Overwatch with both. And we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Okay. Gene Stealers, Overwatch, the Gene Stealers literally didn't cause a wound. So these guys have 3 shots each, got 1 hit and didn't wound. So they're untouched as they come in. And this guy So they're going to move in first, and this guy's charging as well. So he will have to go probably around by the time these go in, unless John leaves a little gap for this guy to go through here. But not looking good for these Vanguard. Let's see what happens once we've moved everyone in. So John's moved his stuff in. He has to be an inch away here because he didn't elect this guy as a charge. But then when he moves in, when it's his turn to fight in the fight phase, then he can engage the this guy here. But before that, I'm going to do a heroic intervention and move this guy into combat. All that means is not much, but just means I get to go at the same time as him.
Same time?
Same time, counts as charging. Green and brown Tyranid unit is going to go first. Then if he's still alive, he might get to attack, and then this Lonely Gene Stealer, he will go third, and then the Vanguard will go last. All right, let's see what happens at the end. Right, fairly big disaster over here. The unit of 2 dead, the unit of 7 gone. John killed 6 with the big unit. Had the sergeant left over. He killed that one remaining little Gene Stealer, and then the Data Smith took 1 wound. But Gene Stealer troops, so John's well and truly securing that objective. My only option is to fall back and then shoot them off, it seems like. And that is entirely possible with maybe a charge in afterwards if need be. It's doable. But over here, this Hive Tyrant with his 9 remaining wounds, he's got to beat these little dudes up. So it's not looking good for the Admech at the moment. 4 attacks, 4 hits, 2s to wound.
6, 3 rolls to wound.
3 rolls to wound, strength 6. Hey, 3 wounds. So I've got a 6 up invul save. Come on, I haven't made many this game. And I make 1, so that's alright. Just 2 guys dead.
Tail.
So I'll get rid of the arc rifle.
Misses.
Tail misses. And I'll get rid of the other arc rifle as well, because I want to keep as close to the objective as I can. Right, so only 2 die. And the sergeant's still alive, so let's hope that they can hold on to that objective. Okay, end of Admech turn 6 movement. Now, I was umming and ahhing about whether to move my Castellan robots over this way to try and kill those guys. Now, I've got the Dune Crawler who can just see them. And I was like, I can guarantee kill them if well, not guarantee, but very likely kill them if I move my Castellans over this way. And they will only have a 6 up save, lots of shots, they will kill them. But then I was like, if I kill them, the best I can hope for is a draw. We got 2, that would be, John wouldn't get anything from there, he'd get 3 from there, and then 1 for line breaker 6. And I've put my 2 points on that one, hoping it doesn't go another turn, because if that goes another turn, I'll lose those 5 points, and that means John's pretty much guaranteed to win. And that would give me 6 as well, because first blood. 5 plus the 1 gives me first blood. So what I've chosen to do instead is I've left this guy here, the Data Smith, within 3 inches of the objective. I'm hoping to have enough firepower here to wipe out those. Now, these spore mines are a problem with the Data Smith, so I've got these guys here close enough that they can charge, get me up, get me movement, and then I can consolidate 3 inches, maybe get some more models in. If not, at least get me closer to the objective. That's my plan. Now, it's high risk, high reward. Sacrificing guaranteed draw for a very unlikely chance to get the win. Let's see if we can pull it off. All right, Admech, turn 6 shooting. Castellans firing at the Gene Stealers, needing 4s to hit, re-rolling 1s because of the Dominus. There's 1, re-roll that. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's cocked dice. That's a very cocked dice. That's another miss. Okay, so that's reasonably good shooting. Now need 3s to wound. That's pretty good. So John has that many saves of invul saves. So these are the strength 6, neg 2. And he passes 2. So that's 5 Gene Stealers out of the, I think it's 14 remaining, 12 remaining. That's a bunch of Gene Stealers dead. All right, let's see what other shooting does. There's 9 Gene Stealers left. Dominus is going to fire his macro stubber. He's just within range. 5 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s for his own aura. 5 hits, strength 4, wounding on 4s, 2 saves for John. 1 more. Now he's Volkite Blaster, hitting on 3s because he moved, and strength 6. That's a mortal wound. So 1 dies, and he's got 1 more save. He passes, so Gene Steel's been whittled down. Now, last is the Gamma Pistol from the Data Smith. That is a hit. Oh, no, sorry, he fell back, so he can't fire. So we've only got the Dune Crawler left, and I've got to decide on what I'm going to do. Crawler's going to fire at these guys. I decided, I was like, oh, I want to shoot these guys, but John's still got 2 command points left, which he's been lucky he's been saving them because he can make them auto pass the morale, which will keep them alive. I think John's got this in the bag, but we'll see. We'll see. If it goes another turn, I might be able to survive somehow. So D3 shots at the Bivores.
Oh, you can use command point.
Don't have any command points left. 1 shot, so this plan's failed. To hit, and no wound. Okay, and I elected to fire the stubber at them as well. And 1 hit, nothing. Okay. So that failed dramatically. That's okay. That would have happened if I fired the Gene Steels anyway. That Dune Crawler just has not had very good dice this game. All right, let's move on to charges, where I'll be charging some spore mines. These guys charge the spore mines. Not bad, actually gave me some extra movement to get up. Now, if it does go another turn, I might be able to do this. But at the moment, John's got the win because he's got 3, 2, and 2, and 1 for Linebreaker. I've got 5 and First Blood, and that's it. So on a 1, 2, and 3, game ends. Now, John rolled it last turn. It is a game over. John's win.
Thank you very much.
Well done. All right, we might do a
Bivores for the win.
Bivores actually won that game, combined with the terrain and the deployment. So, bit of everything. Perfect situation for the Bivores and the perfect army for them to go against in this situation. No flyers, lots of walkers, lots of paths to block them. Literally won John the game, stopped things getting where they need to be. I had guys here ready to move forward, and I had to backtrack or snake my way through just to get to spots to punch and fight. So very cowardly game by the Tyranids, but
Victorious Tyranids.
Victorious Tyranids, yes it was. But they had they weren't interested in the metal and the oil. They're more interested in the biomass. But although there was no victory, these AdMech here, they've got a very good understanding of a fully grown spore chimney now from that objective. So, and they've taken plenty of data about this Tyranid swarm throughout this battle. All right, let's maybe go into a quick post-game discussion, and then we'll leave it there. Okay. All right, post-game review. So, good game in the end. I was very frustrated. Like, for me, those Bivores stopping me moving, that was like so frustrating. Not because they were killing me or because dice was stopping me, but just because it stopped the whole part of it.
It delayed you.
Yeah, it delayed me.
To do.
Yeah. I just want to punch and I want to shoot and stop a bit and stop the carnage happening. I think that's what was frustrating for me at the time. But in the end, it actually turned out to be a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, once you got past those, you weren't damaged very much.
No.
So it just came down to a very quick fight at the end to see what would happen.
Yeah, it was actually really good. So ended up being turn 5 I would have won, you finished, and turn 6 you would have won.
Yes.
Which is kind of what you want.
7 I would have won. Yeah, it would have blown up your 5 point. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have blown up the 5
would have had First Blood.
You would have then damaged your half time, but whatever. Yes, and then you would have Linebreaker, and I would probably maybe taken that, but then you might have blown up that one. I might have blown it. Yeah. So then it would have been
nice.
6. You'd have been your.
You had your Dune Crawler and your 3 robots, and were still at full operational status.
Yes, they were, and the Dominus would appear himself. So look, turn 7, anything could have happened. Doesn't matter anyway. You won. You got the victory.
But you could have turned it around, which is really surprising. I thought it was just you had no hope there for a while.
Yeah, no, I was very surprised.
A long time to get around those spores.
I think as soon as soon as it's like turn 5, we're like, oh shit, like with that first blood, actually get that first objective, and I did have it. Just the game didn't finish. So really good game. Always enjoy those games where it's you never really know who's going to win.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, I thought it was really obvious at early point, and then when you came back, and it was good. It wasn't so obvious. It wasn't just a foregone conclusion.
No,
but you don't want those kind of games.
No, absolutely not. So you're very happy with the Bibles?
Bibles are great. I mean, they're tactical. They didn't kill anything.
Yeah,
but they affected your game plan.
I think with them though, like imagine going against Eldar where all their tanks fly, all their
not as effective then, obviously.
No. But then you're not probably go against things like which are -2 to hit, like the Dragoons were, and
I know
so you do more damage
to hit, but I can sit still and shoot. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right. So at least, and you can do those mortal wounds.
Yes. Yeah. And look, there's objective based. They can sit on objectives. You still got to come to them.
Yeah.
Even Elder, who the spore mines aren't going to stop them, but they've still got to come to me through the gene seals to get the Bibles off the objectives. They're sitting on objectives doing something useful, no matter what. So.
Yeah. No, look, I thought they were extremely good.
Compare them to say Carnifex with guns. There's no comparison to the effect on the game.
Yeah. They look.
Carnifex would have died turn 1.
Yeah, no, true. He would have. They've got 4 wounds each, which is really good because lots of things which are like there's lots of things to do 3 damage. Yes, like you have Castellan Fist, your Hive Tyrant gun, the Predator autocannons. They're all flat 3 damage. Nothing's flat 4 damage.
No, just thank God.
Which means that even if your Bibles get hit by those 3 damage things, there's still got 1 wound remaining, and then if you get hit by multiple things, then those extra wounds are wasted effectively.
Well, your big gun shooting at my Hive guard.
Yeah,
so just how effective when you've got a minimum 3 damage.
Yeah.
Every single wound was automatic dead.
Yeah, it is, and it's -4, so you don't get to save, which is pop. Agreed. Maybe I should have focused on them a bit more than the Hive Tyrant at the start.
In hindsight, I should have had them out of line of sight more.
You should have had them behind the building.
Yeah,
on the objective.
Yeah, actually, I should have had them where the Bivers would be out of line of sight on the objective.
Yeah, absolutely. You should just line that building, and then even if you got line of sight of one, you just got to take it.
Because the Hive Guard and the Bibles don't need line of sight.
No.
Sharp to fire at full effectiveness.
Yeah. So your list is really good with lots of line of sight blocking terrain.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, I love terrain.
Yeah.
Especially also helping gene stealers. An open field is dead gene stealers on the way in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
my list probably prefers more traditional battlefields that you see in tournaments, like that have some ruins and other stuff, but not huge amount of line of block sight.
You're happy your guys, these snipers just sit in one building, only has to be a small building.
Yeah.
You're happy to sit in there and just stay there for the game.
Absolutely.
Whereas gem stealers, generally speaking, have to get across the board.
Yeah.
So they want to hide in places as they go across.
Yeah. Yeah.
At very least in ruins for at least a 4-up cover save.
Gem stealers. Yeah, they do.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good.
Definitely though, the game was all about the Bibles, those spore mines.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was, and look, it made it interesting. I did like using a bit more line of sight blocking terrain. I think next time I wouldn't create those bottlenecks.
Yes, maybe not. Yeah. That really hurt you because your robots couldn't go over the top.
No, that's right. So
infantry could let's just go over the top, no big deal.
Yeah.
And flyers, anything can fly, but yeah, your robots especially are hurt by that.
Yeah, dreadnoughts or any other bikes would be hurt by that. Anything that doesn't fly that's not infantry.
They can't shoot something on the other side because they can't see it and they can't go over it, so they've got to go around these little gaps. And just that really suited the Bible army. So,
yeah.
So
that's something to learn because I just place them anywhere. I just wanted to kind of place them like how they would look in a proper battlefield. Does that make sense? Like you wouldn't have buildings at all different angles.
Well, a lot of players would have had the robots like you did, all in a big clump because they'd often have an aura character around them.
Yeah.
And so they want to keep that re-rolling ones to hit or whatever it is. So they often would be clumped up like that.
Yeah.
And that just works really to the benefit of the Bibles because that clump's going to stay where it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas if you had them in separate lots, you wouldn't get the auras, but I can't stop both sides.
Yeah. No, I think it was just a bit of everything. Like that deployment was the triangle that happened to follow the line of that building.
Yeah, it did.
So I was literally, and then there was the other building there giving you all that line sight blocking up the other whole end of the battlefield. So there was no way for me to get past it. If I didn't go that way, and I went where my dream crawler and snipers were, you would have blocked that way. And then I'm like, oh well. You know?
And imagine if you had got first turn and taken the side of the 4 objectives.
Yes.
Eyeballs chucking spawn lines. So what? You're on the objectives. What do you get?
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't have had to come to me. So
yeah,
it was really the perfect storm. I got the best side, and I got the line of sight terrain where I needed it. Blocking terrain. So it really worked out very well for me.
Yeah, it was. So, so the Bivors man of the match.
Yeah.
Hot Tyrant's still solid.
I love it. I mean, there's no comparison in my mind between the Hive Tyrant and any other of the variants, the big monster variants that you can get with the Tyranids.
For the points.
Oh, for the points, yeah. I know a lot of people like the Swarm Lord because of his automatic move thing.
Yeah.
And that's good.
It's a bit gimmicky though. It's one trick wonder. Once things are in combat, does it help?
You can use it once a turn, like on any unit, within range, or 6. I think it's a 16 total. The problem is you've got to, for him to, the Hive Tyrant wings can move 16.
Yes.
And has guns. So especially with Kraken, it can leave combat, shoot. Yes, because it's a fly, and then assault something else. Whereas the Swarm Lord can leave combat, do nothing, and then assault something else. Yeah. But the Swarm Lord's got to get there. He moves 9. So the Hive Tyrant's got 7-inch movement on it. It's huge. Plus fly can go over things.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Like that's the biggest thing. Swarm Lord can, although he's better at some things, he's less versatile. I think.
He's much better in combat. But he can get stopped by bubble wrap much easier.
Yes, absolutely.
And so often you need some way to get Swarm Lord, such as some Hive, not the Hive Guard, Tyrant Guard, to absorb wounds.
Yeah.
They move too slow compared to him. He moves 9, they move, I think it's 7.
Right, yeah.
So they have to, I suppose they can keep up with him, but if he advances and, anyway.
Yeah.
The other option is you can pod him in with the trainer site, but that's another 100 points.
Yes.
For the trainer site, so 100 points to get him where you need him. It's a lot of points, and a lot of people do that. They have the Swarm Lord in a pod, come down, jump out, and they have a Trigon or Lictor with Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
And then he moves the Gene Stealers.
Yes.
So they're 9 inches away. They move 8. They're guaranteed to charge.
Yes.
And often a big wide charge and something.
Yeah.
But that's great. But that's a one-off thing.
Yeah.
They have bubble wrap, and then the Gene Stealers are hitting bubble wrap.
Yes. Yes. Or if you can deploy or whatever.
And you can get Devil Gaunts, the Devourer.
Yeah.
Gaunts, and they can get rid of bubble wrap, and there are options like that.
I tend to not like those kind of styles of list as much. They're a bit one-trick pony, like that makes sense.
And I know a lot of people are, for example, getting a defense against that, where you spread out like 2 rows of bubble wrap.
Yes.
So the deep striking Swarm is miles away.
Yeah.
It has to be the 9 inches. He can't even get close to where something of value is.
Yes.
And he can only do that extra move thing for something within 6 inches. So and if you're a long way from the tasty stuff because of 2 separate layers of bubble wrap, you're a long way from doing anything.
Yeah.
Whereas I like to save that 100 points on the trainer site, so at least 100 points on the Tyrant compared to the Swarm Lord, and that's basically a big unit of Gene Stealers. But there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, look, I agree. With the Chameleon as well.
Oh yeah.
White and that relic where you reduce damage.
Yes.
And the 4+
well,
invul.
that's actually the Warlord trait anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Either way, all those things
it makes him very survivable. So the problem with making something too survivable, you've got to have I made him too resilient at the expense of actually being able to do any damage. So sometimes you've got to worry about that.
He does enough damage. He hits on 2s in combat. He punches
Rerolls to wound.
Rerolls the wound, yep. And he has his tail attack.
And the toxin sucks, so extra wound now when he 6.
Yeah. So. Look, he does suck when you send him against little.
I thought he would have killed those 5 guys quite easily.
Yeah, but
I thought he would kill at least 4 of them. And
how often do you roll 1s to hit or 1s to wound?
Well, he had 4 attacks
or
plus, I think.
Someone like over 6+ invul. You just lots of little tiny.
I thought he was going to kill about 4 because he was hitting on 2s.
Yes.
And rerolling to wound.
Does his tail do like 3 hits?
I'll tell you 1 attack. Does do 3 wounds.
Okay. Right.
So I thought he would kill 4, and I thought the other one would die to morale.
Yeah, look, that could have happened, but in the end you killed 2.
Yeah. I mean, it was what it was. But I love how fast it was. It's like
22 inches plus
charge. Did you
say that,
Charlie?
No, I did not. So I reckon Kraken that was solid with the 20 Gene Stealers, really good. Bivors, I did like them. I feel that there'll be a situation, although they were game winning this game.
Yes. Sometimes they'll win the game, sometimes they'll do nothing. But You can always keep them still and try to go for the plain old mortal wounds.
Yeah, and I didn't realise. I thought it was just one mortal wound, but one does nothing, and then you've got the
2 to 5 is a 1 wound. 6 is D3 wounds.
You're gonna roll enough mortal wounds, and mortal wounds are gold. Like, and when you're not having to go against the closest and that disrupting movement, I think that's versatile enough.
So Thunderhammer Terminators, for example. I've got 2+ armor, 3+ amount.
Yeah.
Mortal wound.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing you're really lacking is bubble wrap killing your stuff.
Yes. Now I had the option of taking Hormagaunts instead of one of those Gene Stealer units.
Yeah.
Big unit, 30 Hormagaunts with Adrenals, for example. And that would work. In a bigger points game, I would have them.
Yeah.
But at this level, you need something to kill stuff.
You do. What list do you prefer out of this one versus
This one, lots of
Behemoth, which was the reroll charge?
I like this one a lot more than the reroll to charge.
Yes.
The reroll 3 dice for run for the advance is really good with Gene Stealers.
It is.
And the ability to leave combat and then assault is really good with flyers.
Yeah.
Not only do they get to shoot after the combat, which they do anyway, but they can then leave combat.
Guaranteed go first.
Jump over
the
bubble wrap, so they can assault the bubble wrap, stay in combat for 2 turns or whatever.
Yeah.
And then leave combat by jumping over it to the tasty stuff and assault.
Yeah.
Can't do that with Behemoth.
No, you can't. No, I agree. I think Kraken's is good. Behemoth is. You have to have the right list for it.
I think the reroll to charge Behemoth ones, or the reroll charge works really well when you go lots of deep striking guys.
Yes.
Especially with Adrenal Glands, so they've got typically an 8-inch charge with the reroll.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you need that.
Yeah. And I know you can use a reroll. You can use a command point to reroll one of the dice on the charge, but if you've got say 3 things popping up and they're all charged and you can only reroll one of those dice from L3, and I'd much rather say and that also uses a command point when you just automatic reroll if you need it.
Yeah,
Behemoth, it's great. If you've gone that kind of route where you just everything pops up, assault straight away.
Yeah, I really liked this list. I think it was a bit more competitive than your last one. Mainly for the Gene Stealers, they're so gold. Like having 40 of them is resilient enough. People have to have enough the right firepower to deal with them. My Admech's got the right firepower for them with the with my little guys are 3 shots each, and the Castellan robots and a bunch of other stuff. So I've got enough of that good firepower to take them out, and even still I'll struggle.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I think in that unit in the middle, I probably should have jumped those out to assault your troops that were coming in.
Yes.
I could have run out, assaulted those
and
troops.
then brought the other troop on.
And the other ones coming behind them.
That
would have been a better way to do it. They would have wiped your
otherwise
guys out before they got shot to bits.
In the end, you just let me move, shoot, charge you.
I just thought I had the numbers and you could shoot them, and it meant you weren't shooting other things. I thought I had numbers, which I didn't need, luckily. To hold those objectives. So,
no, it was interesting game.
Really happy to make a dream crawl.
That thing is, well, although it didn't do great in this game, it wasn't rolling too many.
It was shooting every turn. Couldn't stop it shooting.
No.
Turn 1 I stopped it. Yeah.
But then he still did 6 turns on the on Overwatch with the command point, so he still effectively got a shot off, if that makes sense. But it's solid. I really like it. I totally see where people prefer the shooty Castellan robots than the fists.
Yes.
Having 18 shots instead of, they get 3 each, so 27 shots instead of how many I had
but they can have a lot of damage out with lots and lots of shots. They can get rid of a lot of that small stuff very quickly.
And then you have the data spec there who can go, you got to stay still, fire twice. You go, and then you can get rid of it.
And I think a lot of people, that's the real power list, I think, that people use for Admech.
Yeah, that's right.
Robots shooting twice, it's a big deal.
Yeah, so I purposely wanted to avoid that. One, I don't have the models for it. I've only got one with the cool converted guns, and the other 2 with the fist, so I was like, I want to use those anyway. But I wanted to avoid that triple guns thing that you'd see a lot, because then when people come up against it, they'll be like, oh yeah, you've got that. Whereas if at least I've got 2 fists, they're like, I haven't seen people using a fist before, and so that's more interesting,
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, if people do take those 3 robots, people will come up with counters against it, I suppose, at the same time. I'm not sure there is many though.
Just get in combat, the rubbish in combat.
Last time I shot the things, they bloody killed me.
That's right.
Just the return reflection thing.
I know. It's so tough. You just get in combat with something crap or fast, and then they can't do anything. The main reason I've got in my list is I've got the infiltrators, which have great number the low AP combat. The Dragoons, which have neg 1, 2 damage, so they're kind of mid-range. And then I wanted something to take out things like big Terminators or monsters or whatever, and they do strength 10, 3 damage each, neg 3 save per attack. And so
that's the thing, you've got them with decent shooting. It's not great, but it's quite good. And you've also got them quite good in combat as well. So it's a good mix to have both, instead of just having pure shooting.
Yeah.
And when they're in combat, they don't do much.
No, that's right. Yeah, so I wanted to avoid, and the main reason I want to avoid that power play with the thing. Definitely not having Call in a list at all, that's for sure, because it's just not my style, the castle kind of play.
Yeah, you haven't got a castle list at all. You've got a couple of things that sit there and shoot.
Yeah.
But you haven't got a castle list at all.
No, the only thing that's really castly is the snipers, because they can't move.
That's one unit, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's like your whole unit's just sitting there around a couple of super buff characters, and they just sit there the whole game just going, let's just roll some shooting dice.
Yep.
Game up, turn over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, well, so that's good. So anything you change on your list?
I don't know, it's hard to say you want to change something when you win.
Good. Yeah,
I was happy with a lot of it, to be honest.
What about the half grown? You said you weren't too happy with that. You might put the other thing that drops the other small lines. I think that's just too much.
I think the hive crone was okay. Well, it was a bit about luck with the Overwatch.
Yeah.
I mean, what it did well is turn 1 it got your big tank into combat.
Yeah.
So it couldn't shoot turn 1.
That could be a land raider, They can't shoot its 4 las cannons and other
30
stuff.
inches with onslaught, if I get that, it can move 30 inches, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it can assault a long, long way.
It can.
It doesn't do that much damage. I mean, neither variant of the flyers do much damage in combat. This one does a little bit.
Hive does heaps of damage.
Oh no, I mean they're 2 flyers.
Oh,
so
so
the
a harpy or a
and
harpy. Yeah, I gotcha.
As to which one, it's like 15 points difference, but they're roughly equivalent. The harpy can get the 2 heavy venom cannons.
Yes,
but he's only with skill 4. So
it's not worth paying points for the cannons on something like that. You better just get.
I mean, it's good. It can hurt a tank. Bit of luck, but it needs a decent amount of luck.
I feel like stopping a big nasty threat shooting is more important sometimes.
And that's what I thought. It does that really well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's where Morlocks come into it as well.
If he hadn't have taken so much damage on that first turn, the harpy, he could have, with the hive time, they could have, taken a bit of control of that flank perhaps.
I did take a lot of shooting to try and take it out in the end, and
you barely touched the hive tyrant. Everything's at it.
I didn't do any works on the hive tyrant.
Everything else, everything went.
I did one where we beat past it, and you're like, damn.
Yeah. It's funny.
When I hit
Please
him
wound me, just tickle me once,
When I did shoot him with the bloody big tank, you bowled it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, in the D6 damage, 4+ it. Yeah, he's so good for that.
Yeah, the half time's great. I mean, if it weren't restricted to one HQ,
yes,
I'd easily go 2 half times.
Yeah,
they just really work well.
Yeah,
and imagine 2 of them together. They could
tough.
Really piggyback off each other.
Yeah, absolutely. That is real tough. Yeah, that's really good. So now you're going to get to painting again.
Yeah, I think I'm happy. I've got to buy some more models. I've got to buy a fly because I've got a harpy hive crone model.
Yep.
Get a couple more biovores and hive guard models.
Yep.
And then get them and start painting them up.
Yeah, you use my Gene Steel as one of my squads anyway, and then you can use your own. Yeah. And then
put my rippers together. I've got the little dims.
Yeah, you just got to put them on
the base.
Yeah, it's like get a 10 per base or whatever. Yeah. Right.
But I was really happy otherwise.
Yeah, good.
I like the tactical effect of it, and it can be aggressive. It can sit back if need be.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that was a different Tyranids game than I'm used to playing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I liked the game. Start was a bit, what's happening.
You were so frustrated.
Oh yeah, just because, and it's because not much was happening, to be honest.
So overpowered.
I was just other than killing your half crone, I was just kind of tickling your dudes, and you were kind of tickling mine. Doing 3 wounds here, and I was doing I might kill a hive guard, you might kill a dragoon. It's like, well,
I've got the objectives come at me, bro, and and then except you got it past my hive guard. Well, spawn mines, but it's
I know, right? I know. I do think that still needs a fix. I just feel like infantry is fine.
Can you imagine if someone had 3 into 3, like 9 of those things?
Yeah.
You just can't get out of your deployment zone.
No. And I don't really feel like that's the spirit of 40k. 40k or 8 dead anyway, in my opinion, is all about promoting carnage. It's the stuff dies a lot more quicker than it used to in previous editions.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, that was the rule in the codex, and that's how people have been playing it. And also in the index. And they put exactly the same rule in for the codex. And I thought, that would have been the time for them to tweak it. You would have thought.
You would have thought so, yeah.
So maybe it's
and
just,
the FAQ,
maybe that's what they want.
The FAQ did in the Overwatch, so
Yeah, so you can't Overwatch because that was silly. Every time you Overwatch, you automatically miss, if you like, because you don't get your six, and then there's a spore mine, you can't stop me anymore.
yeah. No, maybe people, not enough people have brought it up.
Oh, I mean, I remember the frontline guys. They did say every Tyranid Bliss should have biomass,
Yes.
and I can see now what they're saying.
Yes.
You don't need, to be honest, I don't think you need 9 of them. I just think you need like a couple of units of them. Like, I've got 5, so I think 5 is a good.
I think
like
it's a good
that.
number.
3 between 3 and 6 is probably right.
Yeah.
But the main thing is if the opportunity arises, you can use them to block movement,
Yes.
and you can have a big effect on the game with the 100-point.
Yeah, you can stop a
3
unit of storm shield dudes.
Yeah.
You know, just they can't move forward. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't affect them so much because they move 5 inches instead of.
But
they
you
can
can
still
imagine,
move the
you can imagine Storm Shield Terminators who don't have guns.
Yes.
You imagine rigging them in with the spore mines.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you have to get through. They're slowed down their movement, and then if they do happen to charge them, they're taking mortal wounds. They're not getting far; they're taking wounds. It's like,
The big thing is land raiders.
yeah,
Because if you've got assaulty
yeah.
stuff in land raiders, it's such a big base. And if you've got a piece of terrain that they can't get through, you're just like, well, you know, 3
Yeah.
spore mines or whatever, and it can't get through.
no, that's true.
And
I mean, things like Storm Ravens can fly over them, but I mean, at least they also have the fly with spore mines, so they can actually assault
but
a Storm Raven. So they can hurt it. They can't stop it from moving, but
Yeah.
they can damage it at least. So
yeah,
which is good.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think they'll be worth their weight in gold. Some games they do nothing like
That's
like
right.
like everything. You know, some games some things just do nothing. It's just
Skimmers will just go over and ignore them.
yeah.
They don't care.
But other games they're gonna win your games.
I think there'll be people that may not have come against them yet, like you hadn't before, and just be surprised at how effective they can be if you don't allow for them near deployment.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Didn't think about that at all.
I hadn't really thought that far ahead either.
Yeah,
Until it just, it works well.
yeah, it does. It works very well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll wrap that up.
Yeah, good.
Great game.
It was.
as always.
In the end, it was looking like a very boring game early, and then
Yeah.
you really came around to be a good one.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I was pretty happy and paint, build and paint.
Models, paint.
I've got to get my cybernetic data smith and then paint that, and then fix up, highlight and do a bit more shading, do a bit more light sources on my models, and then I'll be ready for art.
Yeah, so we'll get max on the paint score.
I won't get maximum, but I'll be getting more than you were at your current rate. So yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Get painting.
Over the holidays, it'd be a good time. Yeah, painting, get the models, paint, get decent score. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, good.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See ya.